give me back then we told it, 45, and they gave me this thing to strew on it, and it's supposed to, supposed to, when you shoot it says, and because it didn't say bang, and it's, and I wasn't hitting that no way, I was like the lowest of the totem pole marksman, and because it's a silent killer. When you go into the hood, you hear it go bang, bang, bang. When you go into the suburb, you know it's the wife gone. Where's Miss Jane? Did nobody know? And that's what happens. Look at TV and the Valentine, they go, I didn't know this could happen out here. Come on. No, that's a silent killer. And that's what we're going to look at. And now we're going to look at in Revelations 13, 5 and 8. Revelations 13, 5 and 8. And it just puts it's at the end, it puts a nutshell on where you're going to end up, simply point blank period, if you don't follow this commandment. And it says in Revelations 13, 5 and 8, it says, the beast had a loud mouth, boastfully and blasphemy. It could do anything. It attended for 42 months. It yelled blasphemy against God, blasphemy against his name, blasphemy his church, especially those already dwelling in God's heaven. In other words, he's already cursing the ones that went in, and I'm going to say it now, in the first tribulation. He's already cursed the ones that's already in heaven. And then it says, it was permitted to make war on God's holy people and conquer them. It held absolute sway over all tribes and peoples, tongues, and races. See, in other words, I done told y'all, there ain't no black heaven, he ain't no white heaven, he ain't no Russian heaven, he ain't no Israel heaven, he ain't no Italy heaven. It's one heaven. We are all the same race. At the end of the day, I'm just dark skinned. But I can speak French, vous I can speak German, Dickershon. I can speak Latin, Pig. Pig Latin. So at the end of the day, we all the same. I just look different. That's the greatest thing about us. So he simply done already said, especially those who already dwell with God in heaven. And then I like it when it says, it was permitted to make war on God's holy people and what conquer them. And then it simply says it held absolute sway over the tribes. Hear this again. And what people's tongue. See, now you see where this third commandment comes in? Tongues and races. In other words, all he's doing to go get is the ones that said they was going to help clean up the pool, which we ain't finna have a baptism. But let's say we would, and you didn't show up because you said it, your tongue just made you best friends with the beast. And he's saying he don't care what color you are, because you've committed a sin. And then it says, everyone on earth whose name was not written from the word's foundation in the slaughtering lamb's book of life will worship the beast. See, in other words, like I said earlier, I don't know this. God ain't like calling me up to the mountaintop. I'm hanging out with Moses and Isaiah and Peter and Paul. He doesn't show me the book. But in other words, we already know your name's in the book of life. When you're born, God has already, and I know I wish God would have given me the memo before I screwed up my life. He could have gave me some warnings not to do some of the things. I mean, really, he could have said, okay, you in the 9th grade, starting this riot may not be a good idea. This really is not a good idea. He could have gave me, I don't know, something, and I wouldn't have done that. I didn't know no better, so now I got kicked out of school. Me and 2 other people, they're taking us to our parents' job. We're getting beats all over. I didn't know. So he could have told me from the beginning that very thing was going to be in the book of life, and he could have even told me at 2 years old that you was going to be a pastor. I probably would have messed it up anyway, but he could have told us this. But because he doesn't tell us all this in our life, because God already knows what you're going to do tomorrow, even though you don't. He already knows what you're going to do next year, even though you don't. Even though we have the right to alter and change our life, because he's placed the Holy Spirit in you to call you to a direction, we refuse that. And the way we refuse that is by commandment number 3, by not doing what we've already said we were going to do. You ever think, why did I say that? You know, you ever think, you know, because I was at a church where they ate all, they really ate like all, they killed every chicken, they did. Every chicken down there is like scared every day, because really, them black folks killed some chickens. Really, they ate chicken. What we eating today? Chicken. They would fight, I'm talking about the deacons, I shouldn't say that, but they would fight literally over the chicken. Because this one liked the leg and this one liked the leg. And while they was arguing over the leg, I didn't know no better. I didn't think no more. I would take the leg. Because it was fun. It was fun. In other words, what he's saying is simply, this is where you can end up at, guys. He's saying, just think about this. Really, just be smart about the decisions and the commitments you make to the will of God. He's simply saying, just accept. If you're not going to do it, God, what does it boil down to? Honesty. Like I talked about this pastor, no one knew what he was thinking. But he had to be honest with God. So what God is saying, just be honest to me. Don't worry about what the other people think. God is saying, don't worry about how they feel about you. I went to a particular church in Charlotte, which is a large church, and when the church first started, there was, I think, 3 blacks in the whole church. A husband, a wife, and me. And a lot of my friends couldn't get why when I started church, why I didn't start at their church. I didn't get it neither. But one day I was out driving my truck, delivering installation to this neighborhood. I couldn't find where I needed to be, and there was one place with a parking lot big enough to turn around in. That didn't happen by chance. That happened by the Holy Spirit. So that's something that when you can't explain how it happens, God makes it happen. You just have to follow the lead of the Holy Spirit. By no submission of mine, I called this church back. Hey, what kind of church are y'all? And this lady is going through this ritual. I had no idea what she was talking about. Couldn't explain nothing. She was saying, I didn't know church. And then I said, but hey, can somebody like me come to your church? And she says, yeah, why not? And then I went through a ritual that she had no idea what I was talking about. But when I said I was going to come, when I said I would be there, because she said, I'll be looking for you. I'll meet you there. If I wouldn't have came, I didn't even know at that particular time, because I didn't know anything. I was breaking the 3rd commandment. I was committing a sin. But by the grace of God, I showed up. Because I didn't show up like ever again, for a long time, until somebody introduced me to a men's ministry, and then that turned me around. But ever since then, I have learned, if I'm not going to do it, and I get asked, I'm telling you, yesterday, the wife would tell you, people was bombarding me. Can you, because I was like the black pastor amidst around a whole bunch of other people. And I guess because I showed up, I became like the only friend they got that's black. And I would have to say, well, no, we can't be there on the 15th. And they kept pushing it. Or I would have to say, no, we're not going to do this. Or no. But if I had said yeah and didn't show up, I was committing a sin. So I had to say sometime, and that's why you got to understand, it's okay to say no. But don't say yes to something that you're not going to commit to. Because when Jesus Christ came to this earth, he made sure Jesus didn't have to come here. He could have just said, you know what, Dad, I'm going to come. Went behind Dad and sent Michael. Or he could have said, yeah, Dad, I'll go. When it was time to come, he could have sent Michael and Gabriel. But Jesus came. He came for us. He came so that we could, out of nothing, out of the ashes and dirt, start this church in the middle of Concord who knows nothing about what Calvary Chapel is about. Jesus came for this. Jesus came so that we could change the face of Charlotte. We could be the new face. Jesus didn't have to do what he did because he was already in comfort. You know, he done already rescued Daniel out of the fire pit. You know, let the truth be told, most of us is here today because Jesus has already rescued us. He's already taken us out of punishment. So what we have to do is we have to learn we owe him a favor. At this particular point in my life, God really don't owe me anything. Because I was so embedded in what Satan had to offer, and believe me,